I would be married and have mixed race kids if I had just done what I wanted to do. And, there's two women that I should have married in my life. And I didn't do it because I was petrified of having mixed race kids. I was petrified of my dad and his
Yes.
reaction. And so, you know, I did a cowardly thing and, uh, you know, made decisions that really, really I regret. Uh, but
Can I we talked about this when I was on your show, and I wrote these words down that you used because it broke my heart then.
yeah,
And it broke my heart again to listen to it 2 years later. Yeah, you said I totally undermined and destroyed relationships because I didn't want to deal with the hassle of interracial kids, biracial kids, and what comes with that. You said they were the best relationships that you've ever had. How have you continued to deal with that when you say the word regret? Like that's heavy because your life would be very different.
it's very different. It's very heavy. It's everybody makes mistakes in their lives. This is my big horrible mistake that I wish I hadn't made because it just I'm not. I should have kids. I'd have been a great father. I wanted to have kids. I wanted that, but I I knew what I was going to do as a journalist at a very young age. I knew what type of person I was at a very young age, and then once I went into journalism, I knew like, man, I'm here to speak some really hardcore truths about race, and I didn't want my kids or my wife to suffer the consequences of that.
Now, is that the reason that you came to understand before or after you got over the white part of it? Because the journalistic part of it and how your job's going to affect them is one thing. But it seems like the first thing was that she was white and you were black and your family might
Yeah,
not have liked it.
certainly but more than anything, because my family will tell you like, when Jason makes a decision, he don't care. He it's not that I don't care about him because I do care about him, but I'm not. No, I was mostly concerned about I'm going to have kids, and my kids are going to go to school, and they're going to get called names because of the things that I write and the things that I stand for. And my childhood was so amazing, so amazing that, and again, we were poor and, but my childhood was so amazing. I didn't have to deal with that. I didn't want to put that burden on my children. And then I also didn't, the women I'm talking about, they would sit there and be like, "Are you kidding me? I would have handled that. It wouldn't have been a big deal." But I didn't want them to have to deal with. I didn't want their family to have to deal with it. I love my brother virtually more than any person in the world. We kind of look alike. He's 3 years older than me. He carries, obviously we carry the same last name. He gets questioned about me all the time, and every time I hear about it, it cuts, it hurts, and it's not my brother's no shame of me, and uh, my brother's my best friend in life, but I just think about what I do and how it impacts him, and it hurts. But there's some truth that I feel like God put me on this earth to speak on, and I'm going to do it. And I'm just trying to minimize the complications for others. And so,
Even those people who loved you with all that. I mean, yes, these women, it sounds like, knew your dreams and loved you anyway. And you pushed them away.
I certainly, now, yes, there's no question about it that I did that. Other things, now, I was an idiot in some degree, and let's don't leave out the 25% of me that was just an idiot. That, yes, there was always that underlying thing about, man, I really don't want to get married because it's going to really complicate her life, kids' life. But there was also just the idiot in me in terms of like, man, I like a big booty and a loose woman, and you know, the couple of girls that I let hang around way too long. That also, so my stupidity contributed to it as well. But yeah, I mostly didn't want the hassle. You know, me and my dad were close, and my dad was racist, but not just, yeah, he was racist. My dad was great, though. I love my dad. He's dead now. My mother would have dealt with it, but trust me, you know, she's like any black mother. She wants her child to marry someone that looks like her. And yeah,
Was that more, you think, the mom and dad part?
no,
Versus
no,
it
no,
wasn't?
no, because I love my parents.
Yeah.
But I'll draw a line in the sand with my parents, and my dad's passed, but they both know that. It's you know, I read enough of the Bible, and I'll you know, Jesus didn't come here to bring us all together. He came with a sword, and so I can't put it on my parents. It's just me, and just I got this weird thing about kids that I just want them to have the joy that I had. And I'm talking about all kids. And you could, you know, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but you can go talk to young kids that Dante Love is a kid that broke his neck at Ball State playing football in 2008. He comes from virtually nothing. He was a great football player. He was headed to the NFL. He breaks his neck at Indiana University in 2008, again, a game against them. I go to the hospital and that night, and I made him a pledge, dude, I got you from here on out. You're not going to play professional football, but me and you are going to be friends, and I'm going to help you transition into the rest of your life. He, you know, recovered and looks normal and moves normal and all that other stuff. But I've been with this guy since 2008. He just got married a month ago.
Wow.
He's got 3 great kids. He did the kids first, but he married the woman. He's got
Okay.
3 great kids. He's got a great job. His wife's got a great job. It's and I just wanted him to experience things that I experienced. And, you know, I got a cousin named Josh that grew up really rough. He moved in with me for 2 years in Kansas City, and it went well, and then it went poor. He thought I was too hard on him, and he went back to Indianapolis. Then he got in trouble and had to go to jail. He just got married a month ago. He's got 1 kid. He just married a great woman. He made it, and I could rattle off young people that I've helped or tried to help and be an asset to. I just got a weak spot for kids because I think we've done things here in this society to compromise the kind of joy and optimism that I had when I was growing up. And we've complicated things in a way that I just feel like, man.
And that's a long time ago where you
Yeah.
even said that.
Yes.
I mean, because it's one thing today where it is scary to bring kids into the world. You know, I'm sad only because you say you regret it. If, you know, there's many people out there who are like, no, I'm good. I never wanted kids. Great. So I'm not sad for them. But since you say you have a regret, I am sad because I do think someone with your common sense, strength, fearless, name of his show, and just the way that you have this love that I don't think most people, it's not what you usually talk about on your show every day, right? I know you touch on this topic and other things. I think people are always surprised to see the softer side of Jason Whitlock, but that's why I'm sad, is because you would have been a great dad. And those kids would have been so blessed to have you because of all those things that really are not as common.
Let me say that, because this is the other issue that maybe you could speak to. The other fear I had is that I ran into so many mixed kids my own age that have this racial confusion.
Yes.
And it's like if I had kids with a white woman and my kid had ever come home talking about Black Lives Matter, I might have fallen over and died. Like, what did I do here? And that's, I see so many mixed race kids trying to have this black moment.
Yeah, I do too. And that whatever that means, how do you define a black moment?
I agree, because I want them to have Christian moments.
Thank you. Yes. Listen,
but this world is rigged to make them think being black means my pants got to be hanging off my rear end.
And I'm a victim.
Yes, and that would be my other. It's like if my kids had some sort of racial confusion, I wanted to avoid that.
I have heard that so many times, and I've seen TV shows about it where it's not fair to the kid, and I'm not going to do that. And it's like, to me, it's a cop-out. Probably because I'm only alive. Yeah. Because, you know, my parents, and you know the story from back in 1970, 71, when this was really not popular to you know, marry outside of your race. So yeah, I'm sensitive to it because nothing's easy anymore. Nothing is easy, period. Does this make it maybe another level of difficult? I guess. But even when you have all white, all black, whatever, and you lead together as Christian parents, Jewish parents, whatever it is, right, wrong, morals, values, discipline, love, accountability, all those things, your kids are still going to make mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes are really big. And you pray that they're not. We've experienced that. And I have the best parents who literally I would probably, as a parent now of 3 young adults, I mean, my parents did a better job than I did. So, and there were still decisions that we made that were really costly. So I think it's not fair, unfair to narrow it down to, okay, if I do this to them with a white mama, they're screwed. Do we see it publicly a lot with the Kaepernicks of the world? Yeah. Did I experience it myself? I mean, hi at ESPN or every day on social media. You're not black enough. Remember what happened with Elle Duncan and Michael Eaves? Yeah. And she shouldn't be on that show about race and sport around the George Floyd because I'm not accepted by the real black community. What is that? Define it. Define what being black enough is. They can kiss my butt. Like, I don't care. It's actually racist to make comments like that. So I don't know. There's no such thing as perfect, even when everything is lined up on a silver platter for you. There's just not. And you would have been great.
The other thing that I think that I did is in my 20s, 30s, I saw my career as my life purpose. And now at my age, I was like, man, this career is great, but there's something so much more amazing than having an amazing career and making a lot of money. And so that was the other mistake that I made, is that, you know, family and kids is real wealth, not what's in your bank account, what kind of house you live in, what kind of summer house you know, that's not real wealth. And so total miscalculation, you grow up
So
how
do you, that sounds dramatic and I don't mean it to be, but how do you live with that? Because that is a huge regret.
You just, for me, you just like, you remember Paul in the Bible, and he wasn't married and he devoted his life to Jesus Christ. And now it's probably rougher for me than Paul, but maybe not. I lived such a worldly life for a long time. And so, again, you develop habits and things you get enjoyment from that maybe aren't the most Christian. And so, I don't know, you just, you focus on other things. What I focused on, I think my friends, my guy friends from Ball State or even high school would tell you, like, man, Whitlock's incredible to my kids. They all call him Uncle Jason and blah, blah. And so you just start pouring into other people's kids. You start pouring into your sister's kids, your brother's kids, and so
That's huge.
yeah,
That's a blessing.
yeah. Your friends' kids. Again, I'm telling. I think you'd have to. They'll be here this weekend. I got a housewarming party going on, but these guys, their kids all love me because
How do you spoil them?
money. I mean, that's what kids.
You got any extra, Uncle Jason?
Yeah, you just and again, like some of them, maybe I've only met once or twice.
Really?
But when they graduate, Uncle Jason's coming through, or just on a random. It's like with my friends, I don't do anything nice for them. I do nice things for their kids, and so, or maybe I might do something nice for their wives, but mostly it's just their kids, and so it's just random acts of kindness, just out of
That feels good.
Yeah.
There's not enough of that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah.